This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life.
Basically, right now, colon hydrotherapy, as it stands in the United States, is a certified profession. And actually, I'm learning that our certification board is just a group of people that got together and decided to be a certification board. So, I mean, I guess technically you don't even need to be certified to hang a shingle, although I would recommend it because they are doing a lot of great work with standardizing training. Like, I wouldn't go to somebody myself who hasn't been properly trained. And that's a great way to make sure they have been, that they've been certified through IACT, our governing board. So, but we're not licensed. And so when you're not a licensed profession, what I'm learning is you can get into some real problems with the medical board of your particular state, should they decide that it's time once again, like in California right now, it's time once again to try to eradicate the certified practitioners and claim it as a licensed procedure. So basically what happened was, when I first started doing colon therapy about 12 years ago, there were some problems with the Medical Board of California and colon hydrotherapy, and they were trying to say that it was a medical procedure and that you had to be either an MD. Now, I guess at that point it wasn't an ND because NDs weren't licensed in California at that point, but you needed to be an MD or a surgeon or an RN working for an MD or a surgeon to do colon hydrotherapy. And there was some legal battles. I came in about 12 years ago, and that dust was just settling. So I didn't really, I wasn't living through it. I didn't pay that much attention to it. I do know the battle then moved to Texas, and it has been in Texas. It's been in Washington State. It's been in Louisiana. It's been in Illinois. So little by little, these different medical boards are starting to go, here's something people are interested in doing. How can we own this? So what basically happened for me on March 22nd of this year was, well, earlier than that, we had a client, and believe me, I've been in business for 12 years. I have over 2,000 clients. That's a lot of people. And I've had no problems whatsoever in my practice. And we had a client who decided that we were going to be his ticket to $1 million and claimed that the colon hydrotherapy session harmed him and tried to sue us. And it was 18 months of a lot of stress. And basically it ended last October, and we were named harmless, and we all were supposed to walk away. And I was really stressed out, and it really took a big effect, a big toll on me personally, that 18 months. But we were just starting to feel the relief of that. And in January of this year, I got a letter from the medical board, a certified letter, saying that the same gentleman who had tried to sue us had filed a complaint with the medical board. And right away, I got very scared, just because I vaguely knew about our previous history here in California, and I could just see I could see my name being the name associated with ending colon therapy in California. Like, if this complaint went to the right investigator who had a chip on his shoulder or had a point to prove or wanted to move up in the company or whatever it is. But I talked to a lot of people, including the lawyer who had represented us through the insurance agency during the lawsuit. And everyone was like, oh, no, don't worry about it. The medical board doesn't care about colon hydrotherapy. He's just following up on this because a complaint was actually filed. Just give them what they want, answer their questions, be nice, but don't offer too much information. And so although I was scared to the point of being sick to my stomach, I followed through with my legal advice. And then we got a call that in March that he wanted to come, this investigator from the medical board wanted to come look at our office. He said, I want to ask a few general questions and look at your site. So again, kind of sick, but we invited him, and big mistake, but he basically even said on the phone, I look forward to meeting you. I mean, he was very much setting this tone of this is no big deal. And basically what happened is he arrived at our site, asked us a few questions, asked us to show him how a colon hydrotherapy session goes, and we explained it very well. My husband and I own a business together. We're both practitioners. So when I say we, that's who I'm talking about. And he basically then, as soon as I was done explaining colon hydrotherapy to him, he leaned forward and informed me that since July of 2002, that the state of California has decided that colon hydrotherapy is as a medical practice, and that my husband and I were in felony violation of practicing medicine without a license. And if we didn't sign a cease and desist that moment on the spot, that he was going to go directly to the DAs and file felony charges against us. And so I won't take you through all the dramatics of this, but it was only a 20-minute visit, and there was some hysterics on my part in that 20 minutes. A lot of like denial. I didn't understand what he was saying. He was closing me down for doing what I've been doing for 12 years. I can name 20 other people in a 60-mile radius doing exactly what I'm doing. The gentleman never mentioned the complainant or what the complaint was. To this day, we have no idea what the complaint was. His sole purpose, and he was armed with paperwork that he called a law, which this is really important. It wasn't a law. It was an attorney general's opinion that was issued in July of 2002 that said that colon hydrotherapy was a medical procedure for these reasons. And 2 months later, in September of 2002, there was a Senate bill passed, SB 577, which was to be inserted into the California Business and Professions Code, which is one of the 29 codes that define California, I guess, legally. And basically it said that alternative healthcare practitioners have the right to practice and market their business as long as they follow a set of guidelines called the State of California Guidelines, which I have since September of 2002. Every client file I've had since September of 2002 has had a copy of the guidelines reviewed and signed by each client. So I was completely in compliance. And basically this man came in, and in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, getting aggressive, more and more aggressive, meaner. And Stephen and I, my husband and I, were actually really scared. Everyone keeps telling us we shouldn't have signed anything, but I do have a couple of lawyers that have said, no, this guy, he was, basically the Medical Board of California is a police force. He could have actually arrested you on the spot had he wanted to, but he definitely would have gone to the DA. So I guess we did the right thing, even though most other people say we didn't. We signed the cease and desist, so we're not up against felony charges at this moment, and that's giving us, although we are lacking income at this moment, it is giving us a little bit of breathing room to figure out how to actually battle this. Yeah, and the only other times we've been in touch with this man was in the following week. He called us once to let us know that another investigator from Sacramento had called him to say that our website was still up and promoting colon hydrotherapy. And a week later, he called to say that our office outgoing message was still promoting colon hydrotherapy, or said the words. And I just don't understand, with the budget where it is in California, with the government where it is in California, with doctors who are actually killing people by, number one, it's like one of the top 3 causes of death is doctor error. Show me an MD, an ND, or a surgeon who's seen 2,000 clients repeatedly and doesn't have any issues other than like one whack job that I actually was named harmless in.
So this is 2 issues basically. The first issue is that colon hydrotherapy is something that is needed for people to be healthy, and it's a very healthy thing. And the other issue is you're being a target here, and you're spending a lot of money and losing a lot of money trying to just keep your name clean, and also trying to live out the livelihood that you've been doing for the last 12 years.
Well, it's been crazy, Paul. I mean, one thing that I never ever expected was, I followed what I thought I was supposed to do. That the minute it happened, like when we finally got home that day and feeling like I had been in a car accident, that slow motion, sick to your stomach, like your whole reality was different. Like you were just violated on a serious level and treated worse than I see people on like crime reality shows. You know what I mean? Someone being interrogated that they know killed somebody, and they're like, do you want a cigarette? You want a soda? And like, we were like completely hammered. But I came home and I emailed my certification board, and I called every single local colon therapist I could think of because I wanted them to know what happened. Because this investigator, on his way out of our office, I said, there are 20 other people in a 60-mile radius. Why are you doing this? I knew it was because my name was on a complaint that went on his desk, exactly as I feared. And he said, quote, we are fully aware that there are several other therapists in your area and many more in California, and you are just first.
Wow.
So I came home and I called everybody, and one person called me back and was lovely, a woman in Marin who I've been really good cyber friends with. But my local people, 2 people have not called me back. One has since tried to poach all my website network links. She's written everybody, Suki, all these people. I see you're linked to Shay. She's not in business anymore. Link to me now, please. And the other woman was on the another woman was on the attack with me on the phone. And I've at this point realized my certification board, instead of supporting me in any way, even though they claim they are actually spending all their energy to separate themselves from us and cover their own duties, saying that this is an isolated incident, even though the attorney they recommended I speak to, who was the first attorney I spoke to, he said, you've got to reverse this because they are going to set a precedent, and then they're going to go after not only colon therapists in California, but other states will be watching. And some of the literature that this gentleman gave me to support his argument is set up to then have us be sort of the first in a line of dominoes of other alternative healthcare practitioners that they could choose to go after if this works.
Well, what, Shay, tell us personally and also professionally from a professional standpoint of the whole health message here that the government is taking away. What can people do? First tell us personally, because that's the most important thing here people need to realize. They've taken away your livelihood and they've taken away your income. So how could people help you personally with that? And then follow up with how people can help the whole situation in general.
Well, for us personally, Stephen, my husband, has been out looking for other work, and I'm kind of like this dealing with this situation is sort of my full-time job. In a way, I'm working harder than I did as a colon therapist, but we have a fundraising page, and if you can't donate finances, we actually do have 3 other ways listed on that page that you can help us, maybe. So the page is an Indiegogo fundraiser site, so it's www.indiegogo, which is INDIEGOGO.com/taking on the medical board. So indiegogo.com/taking on the medical board, and that's BOARD. And there's a video of me talking about it. There's a long page of information. I even have my legal affidavit posted as one of the supporting documents in the gallery of that page if you want to see my legal affidavit of the events. And you can make financial donations from $10 up. There are some tiny prizes. We don't have a lot to give, but there's some tiny perks for some certain donations, including like the Monday Night Live ebooks or the Monday Night Live video series, which you were on for me. And then there's other ways like being willing, if you're a colon hydrotherapy practitioner or client, being willing to sign a generic affidavit when we have that ready, because when we get enough of those back, it becomes a class action suit. So that's different. We do need some people to show up in court. That'll be harder for some people, but there are people lining up to do that. And we're hoping to avoid court altogether, but if it gets to that point. And the other way is just helping to network, sending out that Indiegogo page to everyone you know, because it was a 45-day campaign with a $20,000 goal. It may be the first of several, and we're at day 24 or 25. And even though the donations were off the chart in the beginning, they've very much stalled out. And I'm starting to worry we won't make the 20,000. And if you don't hit your goal, Indiegogo takes more, which doesn't make sense to me. If I make my goal, they take 4%. If I don't, they take 9%. So we really want to make that goal. And we do have wonderful legal assistance who has promised to stay with us till the end. He's got a very different frame of mind than the standard attorney. He's approaching it from a very different place. And he's willing to work for our donations. So whatever we can raise, he's willing to do that. And I don't want to get lazy because of his generosity.
Sure. And, on a wider scope, this isn't just about California. This is about our health rights.
This is not just about colon therapy, or just about California. And I've been amazed putting out any information I'm in contact now with a midwife, a wonderful young midwife who, when she was in training to be a midwife, took someone's blood pressure. And I forget the exact chain of events, but the medical board has been suing her for 2 years for practicing medicine without a license for taking blood pressure. So they're really trying to come down and own. It's all about money. They're trying to say everything. I mean, look what they do. only Western medicine, only doctors can treat diseases legally, right? So now everything's a disease. Obesity is a disease. Menopause is a disease. All these things that are just human condition are now disease. So only a doctor, an MD, an ND, or a surgeon can legally treat those. And now they're saying, oh, okay, massage, like in the document that they gave us that said, oh, look, colon hydrotherapy is listed in the Business and Professions Code as one of the jobs or one of the modalities a naturopath is licensed to do. So it's a licensed modality. Well, also listed in that same section of the Business and Professions Code that lists what a naturopath can do is massage, stretching, hot and cold water therapy like you get at a spa, joint movement. So wow. I mean, if we go down, then it's perfect precedent to go after these other things as well.
Shay, if people have more questions and they want to get in touch with you, how could they personally get in touch with you or Stephen?
Actually, if you go to the Indiegogo page and you go down to the bottom, you can click on my picture or Stephen's picture, and it gives you an option to send us a message.
Do you have a phone number or an email or something people can contact you if they have more questions or want to help?
It's a little bit long, but my office, my old office email is Shea, SHEA, at everybodycleansing.com. And actually, our office number, which is still on, is 707-529-1020.
Great.
We have a ton of people have been showing up, amazing people. I've been very, very sad about our governing board and how they've been separating themselves from us. And actually, the last email blast they put out about us, I counted 11 lies about us. And a lot of colon therapists, unfortunately, are believing them because, and I get it, they want to feel safe. They want to feel like they're protected. They want to believe that we're an isolated incident. But there are some beautiful people who are getting it and are supporting us and sending suggestions. We have a ton of suggestions coming our way. Anybody that you can, if you have an idea, don't hesitate to send it. If you have a contact, like if your cousin is Gwyneth Paltrow or some celebrity who gets colonics, please have them contact me. We just need to get this out in a big way. And again, it's beyond even though I would love nothing more than to go back to work. At this point, I really truly believe it's beyond me and Stephen going back to work. This is about health freedom in California and the rest of the states of the country. So please, if you can't financially donate, see if one of the other ways work for you and see if there's anything, to just follow our progress at least and help us network.
Sure. All right, Shay, thank you for being on the show, and we will pray that this gets resolved. And
please.
And just hang in there, and we know you're just one of the many targets of the government, and we pray that something good comes out of this. So thank you for joining us, Shay.
Thank you very much, Paul. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.